Welcome to Shakespeare the Sonnets, and today we're doing sonnet number 73. 7 plus 3 equals 10, which is one of my favorite numbers. Second favorite number. That time of year thou mayest in me behold, when yellow leaves or none or few do hang, upon those boughs which shake against the cold, bare ruined choirs where late the sweet bird sang. In me thou seest the twilight of such day, as after sunset fadeth in the west, which by and by black night doth take away, death's second self that seals up all in the rest. In me thou seest the glowing of such fire, that on the ashes of his youth doth lie, as the deathbed whereupon it must expire, consumed with that which it was nourished by. This thou perceivest, which makes thy love more strong, to love that well which thou must leave year long. Alright, this sonnet here, instead of being a continuation of sonnet number 71 or 72, saying, don't mourn for me when I'm dead, no. Instead of that, this sonnet here is actually just going ahead and saying that once I die, it's worth it. It's worth it. If all of you thinking all this, you perceiving all the things that I perceive too, that makes my love stronger than you. Okay, this is where it starts getting confusing. That time of year thou mayest in me behold. That time of year when I go ahead and start getting a bit weaker too. Like autumn, when autumn trees go ahead and shed their leaves by turning into yellow and red or whatever else color there is. Here it just says yellow leaves, or none, or few do hang, where all the leaves that I went ahead turn yellow and they go ahead and die. They either fall down, or they're just hanging on there, or they just fade away. Upon those boughs which shake against the cold. It's this part here, these two lines here, the second line and the third line. This is a tree metaphor too, also an autumn metaphor towards this guy's life. In autumn, our trees go ahead and instead of the green color that they usually have, it turns into a more, shall we say, yellowish color. And because it turns into a more yellowish color, it starts shedding the leaves until in winter it only has the bark, only for in spring to go ahead and renew itself with new fresh leaves, so that, well, at least they can conserve their energy too. This is the time. It's like saying he's in hibernation. At least that's my take on this. Bear ruined chords where late the sweet bird sang, and Bear ruined these parts of the channels. The chords here means the parts of the chancel which the service performed. And for Shakespeare, his service is technically writing these sonnets and poetry, as well as writing plays and entertaining the people while teaching them at the same time. In me thou seest the twilight of such day. And in myself, I go ahead and look at the twilight of such day. The days when I went ahead and I wore my little hat, my little bubble hat, and then I have a little cane and I start tap dancing towards a silly beat, and I do the silly dance as well as playing cards with my grand nanny at the same time. All of that seems to actually do things pretty well for me too. I look at that and think about it. As after sunset fadeth in the west, and as that sun is fading in the west, I go ahead and went into this metamorphosis, and I turned into this young man, this great resilient man, and he's not that old too, but I'm starting to run out of time too, which by and by black night doth take away, which every day, after every day, time is slowly taken away, as easily as he gave me strength, as easily as he gave me some height, as well as some strength, he can easily take it away again and start shrinking me again, which in my opinion is not great, and I hate it. Death's second self that seals up all in rest, and sleep. One time in my sleep I will die, and then in my sleep the coffin will go ahead. The coffin will go ahead and actually make me do things too. The coffin will be sealed upon me when I'm dead, and because, well, I'm still sleeping. Their second self is sleeping, by the way. In me thou seest the glowing of such fire, and in myself my life is this glowing of this fire with this little strong blue flame in the middle here too. But there are a few other things that I actually have to go ahead and talk about too. Down the ashes of his youth doth lie. That here is actually as, or read it as on the ashes of his youth doth lie, and as all the ashes of how this youth doth lie when my fire gets put out, and all that's remaining is these ashes. When all that's remaining as a deathbed whereupon it must expire, That's like saying, as on this deathbed that I was on, that I will go ahead and die on my deathbed. The greatest thing here is that you are perceiving all this at the same time. You, my youth, my young youth, the one I love the most. I'm assuming it's a boy though, because it's been called a male. You being able to perceive all this, that's the greatest gift that I can ever think of, which makes my love towards you stronger. For you to love that well, which thou must leave ere long, for you to be able to love that well and perceive that well and care about me more than anyone else has ever cared for me, that is worth it. My life is worth it. And I'll never waste another second of my life again. That's sonnet number 73, saying that I was young, time gave me all these good qualities, and now time is going to take all these good qualities away again. But you being able to go ahead and perceive all this, that makes my love towards you even better. And that's what I like about you, and now I like you more than I used to. Because of this, because I learned about this. I found out about this. That's sonnet number 73. I hope to see you guys soon. Until next time, now, peace. Bye-bye. That time of year thou mayest me behold, when yellow leaves or none or few do hang upon those boughs which shake against the cold, barroon choirs, where late the sweet bird sang. In me thou seest the twilight of such day, as after sunset fadeth in the west, which by and by black night doth take away, death's second self that seals up all in rest. In me thou seest the glowing of such fire, that on the ashes of his young youth doth lie, as a deathbed whereupon it must expire, consumed with that which it was years by. This thou perceivest, which makes thy love more strong, to love that well which thou must leave ere long.